Hey everyone. Shio and I were recently married and we did our honeymoon at the Red Canyon Ranch in South Dakota. In today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this incredible spot that you absolutely need on your bucket list. Let's get into it. I wanted to start the video by showing you the Vrbo page that we first saw and that convinced us to book the Red Canyon Ranch. So the first selling point here is the pictures. I mean, look at this place. It's an A-frame log cabin literally on the edge of a cliff that overlooks a giant canyon. I mean, what more is there to say? I linked to this listing in our blog post, which I'll show you in just a second. So you can visit this and you can look at the pictures on your own. I'm going to leave that up to you. I don't want to spoil anything, but wow. I mean, look at these. One in the daytime, one at night, one overlooking the canyon, which you can see out your front door. Really incredible. So that's selling point number one. Here you can see the other name of the cabin, which is much longer and harder to remember, but totally true. And let's take a look at the reviews. 10 out of 10 exceptional. On this platform, we've got 248 reviews. When you click in for more depth, you can see that even on a more granular level, it scores 10 out of 10. Cleanliness, check-in, communication, etc. So this is a home run. That's essentially all we needed was the pictures, the reviews, and of course the price, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we found it. I did not do traditional Google searching for this one. I used an AI search engine called Perplexity. You can use it for free, and it's conversational search rather than searching by a keyword or a search term. And I find it to be much more helpful and more natural when you can converse with the search engine. So I just said my fiance and I want to take a fall vacation. That's what it was going to be, but it turned into a honeymoon. We want a log cabin kind of feel, an indoor fireplace, and a beautiful relaxing scenery. And it didn't get it on the first try, but through some it would give me a response. I would do some research. I'd come back and I would tweak my prompt. And then eventually we got to the Red Canyon Ranch. Let's look at where it is exactly in the US, just so you can get your bearings. I'm not sure where you're going to be coming in from. We came in from the East Coast. So we actually had a connection in Minnesota, and then we went to South Dakota from there, two flights. So this is about where it is, South Dakota. So right next to Wyoming with Yellowstone and Grand Tetons. It's an incredible area. So that's where you're going to be if you stay here. Okay, now let's hop over to our blog post. This is on our site, brianshio.com. There's some reviews on there, some travel guides, and other content, and much more coming. But I wanted to give you some quick facts about the place. Okay, so we know it's in South Dakota. It is very remote. It's accessible via a long dirt and gravel road. That's actually one of the few complaints within those 248 reviews. Somebody said, you basically have to drive over 10 miles just to get in and out of there. And that's true, but we didn't find that to be much of a problem. There's actually some beautiful scenery along that drive. There's a ton of farms. A lot of animals. We saw deer and turkeys and bunnies and cats, and, just all kinds of fun stuff. So I think you'll actually enjoy that drive, but some of you might not, so it's worth mentioning. For us, the cost was about $350 per night. Okay, that's when we booked. That's going to be early November in 2024. Okay, prices may and likely will vary. It's an A-frame log cabin. Sleeps up to 6. There's actually 3 beds that all sleep 2 people. There's 2 bedrooms downstairs and there's 1 loft bedroom, which we really loved. Here's a pro tip. The bedroom that is on the left when you walk in for the first time, that one's behind the fireplace. and that one does get a little bit smoky. So if you got 6 people, I would fight for one of the other bedrooms. Get the other bed in on the ground floor, get the one in the back, or get the loft bedroom, because the other one's going to be a little smoky if you're doing fires. The setting, a very, very remote location on the edge of Red Canyon. What's great about it being remote, though, is that it is absolutely soundless. I mean, it's so quiet, it's actually incredible. And there is no light pollution. So the view you get of the stars is absolutely amazing. And you can actually see the Milky Way as kind of like a strip in the sky. Blew my mind. Have never seen that before. Reasonable drive to places like Mount Rushmore, Jewel Cave, Custer State Park, and a ton of other places. We'll talk about those a little bit more. I think it's best for honeymoons, romantic getaways, and peaceful retreats. Definitely group trips as well. But we just found it perfect as a couple. It was awesome being out there. The cabin and everything in it. So here's one of the pictures that we took. And this just gives you such a great sense of the place. It is so refreshing in the morning. It's got those big windows. It's got the log cabin construction. It also has all the comforts you could need. And right behind this photo is the fireplace, which I'll show in another picture. So it's got a beautiful kitchen. You're going to have a dishwasher. You're going to have an oven. You got a sink. It is not roughing it out there by any means. I mentioned the 3 beds, and the loft bed to me is the best. We felt like little kids going up there. I think it goes back to my childhood where whenever there were bunk beds, I never got the top bunk. I always got the bottom. So now I just go right to any loft bed whenever we do a tree house or a log cabin stay. But it felt really good to be up there. And it is quite remote. And, the hair on the back of your neck stands up a little bit sometimes at night because you're way out there. So it's kind of nice to be high up. There is a hot tub outside overlooking the canyon and underlooking the stars. It is incredible. You can soak out in that hot tub at night with steam coming off the water. You can look up at the Milky Way. You can hear your voice echo across the canyon, and every now and then you'll hear a bird. It's just incredible. It's unlike anything you've experienced. And during the day, the hot tub is awesome as well. There's a TV upstairs with Netflix, okay, in case you need that. There's a Bose speaker when you first walk in, which is actually really nice. I used it every single day and night. I had a Spotify playlist going. I had piano music and jazz and all kinds of stuff, and it just really sets the mood. By the way, we were there for about, I think, 4 nights, actually. So quite a long stay. And I believe there is a minimum, and that might be it. I think you have to do at least 3 or 4 nights. But you wouldn't want to do any fewer than that. There's a laundry machine, a dishwasher. There's a grill. Lori is the one you will be communicating with, and she's awesome. And I mentioned the windows. Okay, so let's keep moving on. I want to talk to you about 2 really special things about Red Canyon Ranch. Okay, so the first one is you can get Thai food, and it's authentic Thai, delivered to your door. That is something we did not expect, especially with how remote this place is. If you recall, it's like an 11 to 13 mile gravel dirt road drive to this place. There are other properties out there, but they're spaced enough that you feel pretty alone and secluded. But Lori will set you up with this great woman. I forget her name, but you just text her a day in advance and you tell her what you want. She'll share the menu, and she will come deliver it to your door. It's absolutely incredible, and it was delicious. And the other special thing about the Red Canyon Ranch is the Milky Way and the fact that you can see it. I don't know if you've had that experience in your life before. I had not. I've never been in an area that's this remote, so I've never been able to see the sky with such clarity. One thing I will recommend is that you download some kind of stargazing app on your phone and use that. It'll help you find the Milky Way, and then once you find it with your app, your eyes will lock into it and you'll see the real thing. It's just amazing. So I talked about the road to get there. I don't think I have to say too much more on this one. Just enjoy the views, enjoy the drive. It's meditative, and we saw something fun and interesting every time we did it. So I wouldn't let that bother you. One other tip I will give you, though, to handle this road better is if you're getting a rental car, which we did, get an SUV, so you can really handle any kind of weather, and you can handle this kind of road really easily. A car will be just fine. There's no problem with it, but an SUV, I think you'll be more comfortable in. Important things to know. Like I said, it is quite remote. Me personally, I felt a little safer out there with some protection. I didn't bring like an arsenal of weapons or anything like that, but I had some things. And you might feel better with some bear spray or pepper spray or, a camping knife or something. I had an axe for chopping wood, and that just made me feel a little bit better just in case something happened. But nothing's going to happen out there. I just wanted to mention it to you because I think you will feel it when you're out there, unless, you're not one of those people. Let's talk about our experience. So yeah, here's one of the pictures. Might be a little small, but that's kind of what the fireplace looks like. There is so much wood. You could never burn through it all. Lori just sets you up with everything. And actually, when you walk in, she's already got logs and kindling arranged for you to just, you just strike a match, throw it in, and you're going to have a fire your first night. So she's really thought of everything to make you like really comfortable and feel taken care of. So that's what you're going to experience when you first walk in. Here's another cool thing. One morning we woke up and we were in the loft bed. We looked out the big windows and we saw deer. It was like a whole group of them, and they were feeding right outside the window. And there was a little bunny hopping around them as well, trying to steal scraps. It was amazing. It was like something out of a Disney movie. And I spent a good part of the morning just watching them, just sitting quietly and watching them. So that's some other details about the place. Already talked about the hot tub. And let's talk about the price a little bit. And I'm glad you got this picture too. The other one of the fireplace was a little small, but you can just see how beautiful it is. Again, for us, it was about $350 per night. I just looked at prices out of curiosity, and it's definitely getting higher. I think it's like maybe $100 more than that right now. But I wrote this in the blog. Honestly, I remember traveling for work, and I stayed in a Holiday Inn one time, and it was like $329 a night. Now, maybe I got ripped off, and maybe it's because it was close to the airport. But at the end of the day, it was $330 a night, and this place was $350. And there is no comparison. This is an incredibly special place, a lifetime memory that I'll never forget. So I think the place is priced reasonably. If you can afford it, you're not going to think at all about the money when you're there and after you leave. It's just absolutely amazing. Let's talk about nearby attractions. So this first one is Jewel Cave. Wow, what an absolutely amazing tour this was. There are 3 kinds of tours, and it's basically like easy, medium, and hard, okay? And I would go for the medium one, go for the middle of the road tour. It's about 80 minutes. It's only $16 per person. You go hundreds of feet below the earth into this cave, and you get a tour where they tell you stories and they talk about the science of it and the history of it. And there's one room where they shut all the lights off, and you will experience absolute darkness, not a shred of light. Absolutely amazing experience. Jewel Cave, awesome. So that's really close. It's like maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes, something like that from your cabin. Of course, we got Mount Rushmore as well. And there's a picture of Shio pretending that she's part of the arrangement of presidential heads there. And Mount Rushmore was incredible. If you've never been, I felt a lot of like patriotic feelings, pride. There's a little museum inside that shows you how they built it. You can even see some of the early models that they scaled up 12 times to make the carvings in the mountain. It's just incredible. Awesome. Super close to the cabin. And then you've got Custer State Park. In this image right here, it's a little hard to see, but we were driving around Custer State Park one evening, and it was rainy, and just, the sun was starting to set. It was getting dark. There were hundreds of elk everywhere. And we actually stopped on the road, got out of the car, and just stood in the middle of them. Totally safe distance, by the way. It was incredible. It was just us out there. These are the kinds of experiences that are waiting for you if you take this trip and you spend some time there and you visit some of the nearby attractions. And this final picture right here, Custer also has a lot of bison. We've been to Yellowstone, we've been to Tetons, and Yellowstone bison look a little tougher, a little more rugged, but we didn't find them in numbers this large. There were just huge herds of bison that we could follow around, take pictures of, listen to. Oh, just amazing. And I know you'll love it if you're one of those people that loves to track wildlife and spot them. As a honeymoon spot, this was pure magic. And I think no matter what the reason is for your visit, you're going to love it and you'll never forget it. It gets our highest recommendation. I totally support the 10 out of 10 rating it has. It's beautiful. It's remote. It feels adventurous. It felt like a retreat and a cleanse. We just had all kinds of great moments there. And it's such a unique place, right? You're not going to stay at a place like this many times in your life and have Thai food delivered. And there's just so many cool things around it and about it. And just think, there's a lot more as well that you could discover on your own. This is just our experience. Thanks for joining me today and letting me tell you about the Red Canyon Ranch in South Dakota. I highly recommend it. If you do go, please let us know in the comments. And also let us know if, this video convinced you to look into it. Did it pique your interest? Is this somewhere you think you might work into your upcoming vacation schedule? We really hope you do. So have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.